So good night, good morning, depending where you are, and welcome to another anniversary essential album review. And today I'm joined by Senorita Sabrosura because we're gonna talk about an album that turns 50 today, and it's David Bowie and Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. And see, you see, we're so in sync that we put the record at the same time. There it is. We both have a copy, and obviously I picked to do this video with Senorita Sabrosura because if you don't know her, she's obsessed with Bowie, and and she is like a Bowie connoisseur. I like him, but I can't say that I know as much as Senorita Sabrosura. So how are you today, Senorita?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
All good. So yeah, we said at the last minute we need to do a video about this album turning 50.
Of course. Today we're celebrating this is one of my favorite albums from one of my favorite artists, The Rise and the Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. This album is from 1972, before you and me were born.
That's right. We weren't even conceived.
Yeah. So this turns 50. So we had to celebrate it. This is an essential album that I think everybody should have in their collection. It's a concept album, but you don't need the story to enjoy the album. But think about it. A vague notion of an alien, bisexual alien, that comes to save the earth. He's a sex symbol, a musical person. So it's a weird concept, but
Yeah, it is definitely for, if you think about it, for 1972, that
yeah.
was, that was super way out there,
Yeah, he
like
was. Well, Bowie was like a pioneer. He was ahead of his time, and this shock, all the sexual repressed people, but he didn't care. He created this concept. When they did the cover art, it was shot by Brian Ward at night on a wet and cold night. That's why you can see like that everything is cold and wet. He called the photographer and he requests an alley that resembles New York, but this was in London.
yeah, because yeah, he's British.
Yeah. Well, he then years after he moved to New York actually, but by that time he was still living in London, and he requested like an alley that resembles like a Brooklyn alley where he could appear alone. There was no people, like alien just came to Earth.
An alien with a guitar, to be exact.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you were telling me offline before we talked that you have a story about the photo shoot
Yeah,
about this.
sorry, just told
Yeah,
you. Yeah, he requested. Yeah, he requested to be shot at night. Like there was no people. Like he just fell to earth.
yeah. No, it's a really cool album artwork when you think about it, and I wonder, maybe does the Key West sign have a significant significance to the album, or was it just coincidence that it was on that street?
I really don't know that that part of the story.
I love the part in the back where it says, play this record to be played at maximum volume, and you have him in the cool booth. And yeah, no, it's an album. Like I know that you being a fan of Boy for years, and I always admire him, but I was like a casual listener. But once I got into vinyl, and I'm like, oh, which David Bowie album I should get? You told me, oh, get Ziggy Stardust.
Yeah.
So I got Ziggy Stardust, and it's one of the vinyls that I actually play the most. It
Yeah,
really,
because there's no, like I said before, there's no disappointments in this album. Like all the songs are great. Like there's not a song that you want to skip or anything. It has like a great start song, 5 years, and then it ends perfect with the rock and roll suicide. And it tells you a story the whole through the whole album.
yeah, I know, and the story. And so, what are your, like, when you think of the album, like, what are the tracks that you most gravitate to?
Well, between my favorites, there's 5 years. I really like It Ain't Easy. I listen to that song a lot. Like I was looking at through my playlist the other day, and it's this song is in all my playlist.
Oh, really? Nice.
It Ain't Easy, and then I really like Starman. And then the last song, Rock and Roll Suicide. I really like that song.
Yeah. Yeah, no, something that I like about this album is, like, the flow of the album.
Yeah.
There's songs that have been used in movies, like Moonish Daydreams being used in Guardians of the Galaxy, and I don't know which other movies, but yeah, I really like Starman a lot. And 5 years, I think the first five songs to this album is like super strong, and musically, it's like when I've listened to the song, it's like a rock opera.
Yes.
It's yeah.
Yes, it was inspired by the legendary Stardust Cowboy and the Kabuki Theater. So it's like a concept album, like a rock opera. He wanted to do something different because this is the moment that defined his career. Like he changed of what he was doing before.
Yeah, yeah. With this album, he also he basically like created a persona, so to speak, and I think the lyrics are pretty interesting. I like Starman a lot, especially the way he sings. There's a starman singing in the sky. That he uses melody to favor, and I think he was ahead of its time. I can't believe that this was released 50 years ago. Like, it sounds kind of like the concept's modern, like you say, it is a alien that comes to save the earth with the music. It's really out there, but the 70s, there was a lot of experimentation in music, so I think that it makes
Yeah,
sense.
and
But
he said he created the character based on Vince Taylor and Iggy Pop and Lou Reed,
nice, so he created them like a
like a
combination.
mix of them. And then this is all glam rock inspired by T-Rex, Velvet Underground, The Stooges.
Yeah, no, a lot of bands that did that. So uh, let's analyze the album. Like, would you say, like, I know you're a super David Bowie fan, but uh, what has held up over the years to you, and what do you think maybe hasn't held up that well about the album, or maybe everything has held up? It's hard to nitpick.
For me, the whole album has held up. Like, there's no song like I was say, I don't know. For me, the whole album, and you can't deny the impact that it has in the culture and the music. And this album creates so many bands and so many genres after that. It's also defined how a musician could approach performance and songwriting and how to do an album and creative representation.
Yeah, no, it's really out there and ahead of its time, and lyrically,
I don't know if he was the first, but yeah, he was ahead of his time and he created like a new way of approaching performance. Like Bowie, he said he was very timid, very shy, so that's why he created the this persona. So when he goes on stage, he comes from a back cultural from theater, his background.
Yeah, so
So
he,
that's why he create his because he's shy. So he create this persona. So when he approaches the performance, it's like he's doing uh, a
he's doing
show.
like a theater. Yeah, he's doing like a
Yeah,
show. Yeah, and when I look at I look inside and I look at the lyrics, it's hard to believe like nowadays lyrics are like they write like a chorus, like they're simple lyrics. These are long lyrics. There's a lot. I really like Ziggy Stardust. Like it's a story like he played guitar and he came from Mars, and it's
yeah.
really psychedelic. And back at that time, I think in the 70s was like the time when they started doing like more concept albums, I believe.
I think.
Because there was the Pink Floyds and other bands, but yeah, this one was like a like a type of a concept album, if you will. And I've been listening to a lot the last year. I can't find anything wrong with it. I think it flows well. I do believe that the first half is a little bit stronger than the second half. But it's not to say that the second half is bad, but it's just that it starts with 5 years. So Love, Moon Edge Dreaming, Starman in Ennis. He starts really strong. But the side two, if you have the vinyl, it has
Well,
the
remember,
Stardust,
it's called the rise and the fall.
the rise
So
and the fall.
it's rise really strong. The first part is like really strong rising, and then the downfall of Ziggy and the spiders.
And the spiders. Yeah, no, that's how it has. And you can like talk about artists that being influenced by him, Nine Inch Nails, Placebo. I don't know which other bands, but there's so many musicians that being inspired by Bowie. And would you still, if you had to pick, would you say this is his masterpiece yet, or one of his masterpieces? Since that
Uh,
you're such a Bowie fan.
I I think it's one of his masterpieces because I really like Hunky Dory and I really like Black Star.
The last one, yeah.
Yes, but I enjoy like Let's Dance, Low. Another of my favorite albums. We could do a whole section of only Bowie albums. I really like Diamond Ducks.
Okay. Yeah. No, yeah, with you could talk David Bowie, and I see the artwork. I love the artwork for this, with the street and the colors. I think it really represents
He
well.
has a song in another album that says, "I never did anything out of the blue," and I believe him. Like he thinks everything, the artwork, the song lyrics, everything, like how he dressed, how he performs. Like he never did anything out of the blue. Like everything is like well thought.
Yeah. So you knowing so much about this album because you know more than me. Do you know like some like like hidden facts like that a lot of people know about this album, like like rarities about this album? Would you know some of that stuff?
Mm, Um,
No, I got you stumped on that one. I'm like, I wonder which are the rarities. But yeah, no, we're celebrating the 50 years of this. It
yeah.
turns 50 on June 16th, so 50 years of David Bowie. Uh, like you said, this is an album that I think everyone who likes rock and roll is a must-have. It's a classic album. You can't go wrong with it, and I think it has stood the test of time. And
Yes.
I think it has stood the test of time. Let me think of reasons why it has stood the test of time. Number one, great lyrics. Number two, really good musicianship in every sense of the way, the melodies, the way the songs are structured. And number three, the concept. I think this is a concept that is way ahead of its time, and it's before, because now concept albums are a dime a dozen. So those are the three reasons why I think this album is an essential album and has stood the test of time for me. What about for you? What would you say
Yeah,
would be like the three?
you you said it all. Like this is a great album, great lyrics, great music. Like Bowie, he was always like finding the best musicians for his albums.
Yeah, I think he
Help
did.
him, and then he was always like looking for something new, something ahead. Like he wasn't doing like what everyone else was doing. Like he was like looking for, like he liked to hang out underground scenes on with another musicians. Like he would go to clubs to listen to jazz, to soul, to funk, even electronic music.
Yeah, no, it's something that you can say about David Bowie is that he was a chameleon. Like
Yeah,
every album he changed, and
it's still a musical chameleon.
yeah, and you know what? While you're talking, I found five otherworldly facts about Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars album because I'm like, there's got to be those oddities. So when he created the title character Ziggy Stardust, he had like a lot of people in mind, which we already discussed. This, you know, this was about the you said the Stardust Cowboy, the Kansai Yamamoto. So you mentioned this. Uh, and Ziggy Stardust received a plaque of honor even though he wasn't real. So, oh, this is interesting. He received an honor even though he was an fictional character. And the album was a major influence on the rise of glam rock in 1972. Uh, this one's interesting. Did you know that this was voted the gayest album of all time?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it says here that a poll initiated by Out.com asked the fans, what is the gayest album ever to exist at this point? And the answer all went down to this album. Well,
Wow.
with Iggy's oozing sexuality topped with everything flamboyant at the time, as well as the remarkable symbol of the rise of activism for LGBTQ rights, it is with no doubt a significant one for everybody. Okay, so that's something that neither you or me knew. Uh, and the number one is that David Bowie created this album to deal with his issues regarding his mental health. That's interesting. That
Yeah.
see, you learn something every day. Five facts, but yeah, it's fun. I think the being the gayest album. Like, yeah, I think I've heard gayer. I don't know. Maybe it was
Maybe
because
for the time,
for
by
the time.
1972, like this, like really skinny guy wearing with his red hair, wearing red lipstick, makeup in all his face, wearing platforms like really high heels. Like maybe that was gay for that time, but yeah, for this time, no.
No, for this time it's just another day. But
Mm.
yeah, for I think like when this came out in 1972, how revolutionary this has had to be. You know, like I'm sure a lot of people.
And I seen videos like him dressed like that playing on TV. Like wow, for 1972, like that they let him play like that because I know other people they didn't let them play dressed like anything.
No, no. So
We I don't know. He tapped into some magic and everything went great.
everything went great. So yeah, everyone, we want to know. Comment. What did you think about this album? Do you think it's the classic album that it's almost? I think if you look any like magazine, this album is on almost all the lists, all the
Yep.
top albums. This one, I think this is his top album on all of those lists. Like, comment, what are your favorite tracks? What do you think about David Bowie? Is this your favorite album by Bowie? We want to know. We also want to know like what other like anniversary album reviews would you like us to tackle? And don't forget, you know, subscribe to the channel. I have more things on the way. You can follow Senorita Sabrosura too on her socials and her TikToks and everything. And, you know, if you want to know more about Bowie, Senorita Sabrosura really knows a lot about it. So yeah, I think that would be like us people, let us know what you think. And I think we've covered most of the songs. Like anything else like where that you would like to add about this amazing album, Mary?
No, you just have to listen if you haven't.
And listening to it on vinyl and at maximum volume.
Yeah,
That's how
maximum volume.
that's how Bowie said you should listen to it. So again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to give us a like. And until next time, until next time, the next week may have an interview for you guys. That'll be a surprise. We won't say who it is yet. And at the end of the month, we're going to do Rock en Español. That will come for the beginning of July. So watch out for that. So until next time, this is Hector, the Shield on the Couch.
And Senorita Sabrosura.
And we'll see you right here next time on another collaboration video. Thank you.
Yeah.
And listen to David Bowie.